Dear students, great day. Let us start our session with Geography Unit 8 Map Reading. In this session, we are going to learn about difference between a map and a globe, the components of maps, the methods of representation of scale, signs and symbols are used on maps, different types of maps. Introduction. Maps and globe are important tools for geographers. Maps help geographers compare places and related people's activity to the location where they live. Cartographers use various maps to make maps as accurate as possible. They design maps in a way that they can be read and understood by people throughout the world. Map. A map is a visual representation of an entire or a part of an area, typically represented on a flat surface. The work of a map is to be illustrate specific and detailed features of a particular area. Map reading. Map reading is an act of interpreting or understanding the geographic information portrayed on a map. By map reading, the reader should be able to develop a mental map of the real world information by processing the symbolized information shown on maps. Difference between a map and a globe. Map is different from the globe. Map gives a two-dimensional representation of certain regions or the entire world, while a globe gives a three-dimensional representation of the entire world, and it is a model of the earth. The study and practice of many factors of maps and map making is called cartography. It can be described as the art and science of map making. Components of a map. The basic components of a map are title, scale, legend or key, direction, source, map projection and local information, and conventional signs and symbols. Title. Title tells about the content of the map and is placed mostly at the top corner or at the bottom corner of the map. Scale. The scale is the ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. For this purpose, maps are drawn to scale. Each map has its own scale, which is indicated on the map. Often the scale is shown with a scale bar or a line and number and is placed just below the title or somewhere at the bottom of the map. To show large areas like continents or countries, small scale maps are used. Small scale maps can show only major features, omitting the minor ones due to lack of space. For example, physical map of the world will show us only the major physical features in the world. It represents more area of the earth but gives us less information. To show a small area like a taluk or district, large scale maps are used. The large scale maps portray the information in detail than the small scale maps. Scales on maps can be represented in three different ways. They are statement or verbal scale, representative fraction or ratio scale, graphical or bar scale. Statement or verbal scale. In this method, the map scale is stated in words, that is 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer. It means 1 centimeter distance on the map corresponds to 1 kilometer distance on the ground. Thus, it is written on the map like 1 centimeter to 1 kilometer, 1 inch to 1 mile, etc. Symbol statement scale has the following characteristics. If the numerator is in centimeter, the denominator is either in meters or kilometers. If the numerator is in inch, the denominator is in miles. Representative fraction RF or numerical fraction or ratio scale. It shows the relationship between the map distance and the corresponding ground distance in the same units of length. RF is generally shown as a fraction. For example, a fraction of 1 is to 50,000 shows that 1 unit of length on the map represents 50,000 of the same units on the ground. That is, 1 centimeter or 1 inch on the map represents 50,000 centimeter or 50,000 inches respectively on the ground. RF is represented as 1 by 50,000 or 1 is to 50,000. Graphical or bar scale or linear scale. A graphic scale looks like a small ruler drawn at the bottom of the page. This line is divided and subdivided into lanes, each of which represents a certain distance on the ground. In this way, distance on the map can directly be measured and read off from the map by using a piece of string or dividers. This scale has added advantage for taking copies of maps as the measurement does not change. Legend or key. A map key or legend is included in a map to unlock it. It gives you the information needed from the map to make sense. Maps often use symbols or colors to represent things, and the map key explains what they mean. Symbols in the key might be pictures or icons that represent different things on the map. Direction. A map must indicate direction. This is done by means of an arrow pointing to the north. Directions on a map are often given with symbol called a compass rose, which always shows north. Sometimes all the cardinal directions such as north, south, east and west are shown. In addition, the intermediate directions of northeast, northwest, southeast and southwest may be given. Source. All maps must show the source of the data used in the respective maps. The source should normally be given outside the frame of the map on the bottom right. On the bottom left, the name of the author, publisher, place of publication and year of publication must be given. Map projection and locational information. A map projection is a way of representing the spherical earth on a flat surface of a map. The curved surface of the earth cannot be shown accurately on a map. So, cartographers use map projection while mapping the earth's surface. Latitudes and longitudes marked on maps give the locational information of the area covered in the respective maps. Conventional signs and symbols. Conventional signs are symbols used in maps to represent different features. The symbols are explained in the key of the map. The symbols fall under this category are called conventional symbols. Other category is called contextual symbols, which are determined by the cartographers. Types of maps. Maps are classified on several bases. Each basis gives a different types of maps. In this lesson, we will learn about the nature and characteristics of relief maps, cadastral maps, and thematic maps. Relief or physical map. The map that shows the physical features of an area is usually called a physical map or a relief map. Their primary purpose is to show landforms like deserts, rivers, mountains, plains, plateaus, etc. Cadastral map. A cadastral map refers to a map that shows the boundaries and ownership of land within a specified area. These maps are sometimes known as plans. As they are on large scale, they show full details of the boundaries and buildings. They are used for local administration such as city survey, taxation, management of estates, and to define property in legal documents. Importance of cadastral maps. Cadastral surveys Document the boundaries of land ownership by the production of documents, diagrams, sketches, plans, charts, and maps. They were originally used to ensure reliable facts for land valuation and taxation. Scale of a cadastral map. Cadastral maps commonly range from scales of 1:500 to 1:10,000. Thematic map. A thematic map is a map that focuses on a specific theme or subject area such as physical phenomena like temperature variation, rainfall distribution, and population density in an area. General reference maps do not focus any specific theme. Kinds of thematic maps. Thematic maps are classified into qualitative and quantitative thematic maps. Qualitative map is in the form of a quality and expresses the present or absence of the subject on a map. Like the kind of vegetation present or occupying a region. Map showing the distribution of soil types is also a qualitative map. Quantitative map expresses the information of numerical values like elevation in meters, temperature in degrees Celsius, etc. Chloropit mapping. A chloropit map is a thematic map in which areas are shaded or patterned in proportion to the measurement of the statistical variable being displayed on the map, such as population density or per capita income. Isoline maps. Isolines are lines drawn to link different places that share a common value. The prefix iso is a Greek word meaning equal. So, an isoline is a line joining equal points. Isobars showing the distribution of atmospheric pressure and isotherms showing the distribution of temperature are the examples of isoline maps. Dot density map. A dot density map is a type of thematic map that uses dots on the map to show the values of one or more numeric data fields. Each dot on a dot density map represents some amount of data. In a dot density map, areas with many dots indicate high concentration of values for the chosen field, and fewer dots indicate lower concentration. Uses of maps. To find the location of objects and places. To find the transportation routes. Maps showing strategic locations are useful for military. Serve as tourist guide. Display weather conditions. Represent the real world on a small scale. In this session, we learnt about difference between a map and a globe, the components of maps, the methods of representation of scale, signs and symbols are used on maps, different types of maps. Thank you.